Welcome to another episode of the Community Connection brought to you by Dominion Physical Therapy. I am your host, Lindsay Lopez. Today, we're thrilled to have Erica Spencer with us. Erica is the coordinator of business partner integration for Hampton City Schools at the Academies of Hampton. Her work involves developing seamless partnerships between the education sector and local businesses to ensure our young people are ready for college, careers, and life. Erica is a native of the peninsula, a dedicated mother, an active community volunteer, and a passionate advocate for educational empowerment. Join us as we explore her journey, her insights on building community relationships, and her vision for the future of education in Hampton Roads. Erica, thanks so much for joining us.
Absolutely.
Who or what are your biggest sources of inspiration and motivation?
I'd say my biggest inspiration would be my grandmother. She recently passed away, but she was 100 years old, and I used her in a lot of my presentations. I called her Little K, and everyone in the community she was everyone's grandma. And so watching her and hearing her story of how she overcame things, being a woman in industry and just going through her career really inspired me to be the best I could be. And then I have two daughters myself. And so I owe it to them to be that same inspiration that little Kay was to me. And so I'd say the two-sided answer, my grandma and then my daughters.
I remember hearing about your grandmother the first time that we met.
Yes, she was a firecracker.
I'm so sorry to hear that she passed. Can you share how your career journey led you to your current role as the coordinator of business partner integration at Hampton City Schools?
Sure. So my background is business development. And so for the last 5 years, I was in economic development with the city of Hampton. And the city and the schools have a partnership that is seamless. And so I was a partner of the Academies of Hampton, and I would do a lot of the events and a lot of the activities. And so when this job posted, it was just like, hey, this is like a perfect match for you, because outside of being in the work, I'm also a parent of 2 children in Hampton City Schools. And so I was already involved in the work at the school level and PTA and hearing about things that were going on in the academies. And so making that shift was just like, here we go. Now you go from just community cheerleader to now you're on staff. And so it's definitely been an awesome opportunity to kind of bridge both of those worlds together, from the business side, from economic development with the education side.
Great. Yeah. Sounds like they're lucky to have you. What are some specific goals you aim to achieve through your partnerships with local businesses and educational institutions?
So right now we have over 300 partners that come in and out in different capacities with the high schools. And just last year we were designated a K-12 community with Ford NGL. And so I don't like to say we're moving the model back, because people start to think, oh my gosh, they're making a third grader pick their career. No, however, we are exposing them to different things in the community, different skills for different jobs and careers. And I think my biggest thing now would be filling in some of those partners in the lower grade levels. And so my main goal would just be to connect them and show them how they fit in, because sometimes businesses don't see, well, how could I really connect with the 4th grader? And so just explaining to them how you can show what you do through the eyes of a 4th grader and how that makes an impact for what they decide to do in the future.
Okay. Can you tell us about a particular project or initiative that you believe has significantly impacted the Academies of Hampton?
Well, I don't know that I can name one. So there's several initiatives that happen every year, signature experiences. We have one called My Future, My Journey, where all 9th grade students are exposed to industry experts and businesses in one space. And so I always tell people, you're going to see about 1,400 9th graders. So get some coffee before you come. But just that experience alone gives them an idea of what's out there. What can I be? What can I do next? We have a commitment to graduate ceremony that brings in all 9th graders. It has parents, grandparents, community members, and we are all committing to getting those students across the stage, whatever it takes. And so that gives them a taste of graduation. They have the whole, they walk in just like they were graduating. They are playing the music, and so it just gives them that taste. And so things like that, or we have internships or job shadowing opportunities. And so just a couple weeks ago, our students participated in the Food Bank's Tastefully Yours fundraiser, and they won People's Choice. And so they are competing against businesses that have been in business for years. And so giving them the opportunities to get out and for the public to see what they're capable of just those are just a few things that we do, and there are several different touch points throughout the school year. But I think those are some of the key things that we're doing, and initiatives that we're making sure our students have access to.
Great, great. So how do you envision the future of education in Hampton Roads in terms of preparing students for the workforce?
So I'll say with just for Hampton, this model alone, just kind of seeing what the future looks like, we have to prepare students for the jobs that are here now and the jobs that are not here yet. And so giving them these hands-on opportunities, practical skills to go alongside of the traditional curriculum, I think we're ahead of the game. We're the first in Virginia to have this model, the first in the nation to have the K-12 designation. And so I think that we recognize what the future holds, and we are working every single day to make sure that our students are prepared.
Okay, that's really cool. I think it's great that you're giving opportunities for the kids to be exposed to different things. And I think, after high school, just having that exposure probably helps lead them
Absolutely.
down, career paths and things where they don't have to spend as much time figuring it out.
And that's that piece. It's like, you know what, I want to change my major. But,
Mm-hmm.
they're having that hands-on experience ahead of time. And they could say, you know what, I thought I was going to like this and I don't. And that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And even if they don't go in that path, they still have life skills that are going to carry them in whatever they decide to do. And so we're teaching them those skills that are transferable, whatever you decide to do. So that's the exciting part, because when you really think about school, it's not really something that you read in a book that you memorize that you're going to remember. Oh my gosh, that was my favorite chapter to memorize and test on. It's going to be that hands-on experience. It's going to be that partner that's come in and taken that time to invest, and you're going to always remember that. And so that's what I'm working on now with our team. Is so many people that make this work go, and just to see the students get excited about an opportunity. I mean, even sitting in a police car blowing the horn, and they're like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, oh gosh, we just blew a horn. But it's something that they're going to remember. And then we tie something like that into the curriculum, where now you're learning and you didn't even know because you were having fun.
Yeah, awesome. So given that the region's biggest asset is its youth, how should local communities and businesses further invest in young people?
I would say show up. Show up. It's not always about, can someone write a check? It's show up. Get involved in the work. The one thing that it really excites me is that the business community gets to co-design the curriculum. And so while there are certain things that are going to have to stay in the curriculum, the business partners get to sit and go alongside of, what should this look like? What does the real world say? How do we tie it in? How do we have touch points? Show up in the classroom, become an advisory board member, help us shape the work so that when the students are entering the workforce, they're ready for you. Because when you really think about it, we have 20,000 of your future employees. And so we just need you to show up and help us so that you work alongside this process.
Yeah, that's great advice. Looking ahead, what do you believe are the biggest challenges facing the educational system in preparing students for the modern workforce?
I think that's always going to be staying ahead of the changes in workforce in general. And so part of this work is reevaluating it consistently. We are always looking at how to make our systems and processes better, and making sure that we are getting the students the real world experience. But again, working alongside of the business partners to say, what is it that you see coming down the pipeline? What do you see the industry looking like in the next 5 to 10 years? And how do we align with that? Are there certifications or credentials that our students can get before they graduate high school to come to you? And if so, what are they? So what does that data say? Just like our students at Phoebus High School, they'll get their associate's degree before they have their diploma. They're part of the college experience. And so what else, and what other industries can that transfer to? What do you need? And so we just have to stay abreast of what is the industry saying? And we do that by working hand in hand with the city, working hand in hand with the business partners, and making sure that we are following the trends and making sure our students have access, and making sure that all students have access. That's the large piece. It's not some, it's for all. And so making sure that the partners that we work with are walking alongside us for the long haul, because it can be difficult sometimes when you're like, well, how can I make an impact? I'm just one company or one person. But when everyone has that same mindset, we can get a lot done together.
Okay. So where do you see yourself and your work in the next decade, and what legacy do you hope to leave behind in the community?
Well, I think even for the legacy piece, Hampton City Schools has laid the foundation for the academy model. And so that legacy, we haven't been doing it for that long, but I can't wait to see in 10, 20, 30 years, what does this look like as we continue to build on it? And just for me, myself, I get to play just a small part. A lot of people will see me and see me connecting with business partners, but there's so many people that you don't see that make this operation go. From our leadership team to city council and the school board, their relationship to the business partners, to the teachers. There's so many people that make this work go. And so I feel blessed to play this small part in it. But the foundation and the legacy is already set. And now we're just going to keep building upon it.
Great. So last question, we're asking everybody this that comes on and talks with us, but what do you love about living and working in Hampton Roads?
Well, I am from the peninsula. And so, you get kind of competitive with other, like, this city and this state. I'm like, well, wait a minute. We have this and we have this. And, people will say we have Busch Gardens and we have Virginia Beach. And while we have all these great things, I'm like, well, we have the Academies of Hampton. We have, look what we're doing. Mm-hmm. We are building the next generation of Busch Gardens. We are building the next generation of whatever, fill in the blank. Our students are able to create these things. And so, for me, it's exciting to just be a part of it and just see it all play out. And so while we don't know what the future holds, I just know that it's exciting to be a part of it, to be able to look back and be able to talk to my grandkids and say, oh, that academy that you're in now, I was there a long, long, long time ago. And so just being a part of that is exciting to be in this area. There's so many things happening in Hampton Roads, and exposing our students to those things now only it's exciting to see what it's going to be in the future.
Erica, thank you so much for joining us today. If someone wants to learn more about, what it is that you're doing, more about the academies, is there a place that they can go to seek that information?
Yes, absolutely. There's a QR code they can scan, and it will take them to an interest form, and they will connect straight with me, and I will be in contact with you to see how we can explore a partnership with Hampton City Schools.
Wonderful. Well, thank you again for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. To our listeners, we hope today's conversation inspires you to engage in your own community and explore ways you can contribute to its growth and prosperity. Join us next time as we continue to explore the stories and initiatives that shape Hampton Roads. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast to stay updated on all of our latest episodes. Until then, keep connecting, keep engaging, and we will continue to connect the Hampton Roads community one conversation at a time.